Hello, everyone. Once again, this is To Infinite and Beyond, a Marvel Snap show by and for people who just love Marvel Snap. Today, we have a very unique and exciting episode where we are interviewing Nazar with Volmi. So, take it away, JDeg.
Yeah, take it up to the next slide. You'll see we'll get to know Nazar and what he does.
You.
Oh, never mind. First, we got to ask because this is the most important question for any guest. We have an ongoing debate with our friends over which Jeff is our favorite. So we're gonna need you to pick a side.
Choose
Uh,
wisely.
I should be with the one on the left.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Wrong answer. All
That's
right.
entirely correct, and I'm glad you made that decision.
Well, and he works for Volmi too. That's not fair. All right. So, go ahead and introduce Nazar.
I
Yeah,
was
Nazar,
just,
tell me a little bit about yourself.
I am Nazar. I'm based in Ukraine, Kiev. We have worked on Marvel Snap project for around a year, I guess, and I was producing it myself. At that time, I was a producer. Right now, I'm production director of the art department in our studio.
Very
So,
cool.
so what does production director do in terms of? Because I know you
Uh,
guys have like over 100 employees, right? There's a lot of
yeah,
different employers that you make art for. So, what do you do?
Myself, I'm doing the simplest thing can be ever imagined by an artist. For example, I make everything, I make projects, I make like people to do projects in time with expected quality, with expected scope, and everything else. So the thing is that video games would be never existing if only artists and programmers would be creating them. So they need someone who will be telling them to be faster and more precise. That's I am.
That's awesome.
That's great. And I wanted to ask, how does someone like get into your position? How did Marvel Snap come to you? How if someone wants to be a production director or an artist for Marvel Snap, what
Uh,
kind of steps do they take?
Originally, I'm a medical doctor.
Oh, really?
Yes, I have a medical MD degree. I always dreamt to enter the game industry, so after I ended up my university, I just went and started to work as a project manager. And then I was growing, and I just love video games from the childhood, so I want the hobby to become a work. Regarding the Marvel Snap project, the thing is here that I am not a super big fan of Marvel. I am big, but not super one. But I am a big fan of card games, and I'm a big fan of Ben Brode. There is a game director for Marvel Snap Project. So when I heard that, I am Hearthstone lover, a big one, really. So
Heck
I
yeah.
played Hearthstone from beta till now, I guess. I'm just rarely playing. So I just was very upset when Ben left the Hearthstone team. So I was wondering where would he go? And then we've had an intro call with some second dinner company I didn't know about, and he was on the call, and I figured everything out. So I was very inspired by that person to take part in it. So I just made it my goal to work with them. So we've took a test.
That's awesome. We both came here from Hearthstone.
Oh
We're
yeah.
still playing it a little bit. We were just talking about the new expansion coming out. That's amazing. Wow. It's
That's
always fun to
wild.
find another Hearthstone player. It feels hard to find
I
them
was I
nowadays.
was taking actually part in Star Ladder Championship in Kiev.
Oh
Oh, really?
wow.
Yeah,
Oh, so you're not bad.
It's pretty good.
in Hearthstone I was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow.
Are you
I
good?
did not know that going into this.
Are you good at Marvel Snap?
I guess so. I didn't play as much as the Hearthstone itself,
Sure.
because when you work as when you work in game industry, you should play a lot different things to understand
Sure.
how the industry is working. So you cannot just be dedicated to some one game or two games like I usually did. But I regularly play Marvel Snap at weekends when I'm just chilling because it's very cool to play on smartphone. Actually, I didn't love the thing about the Hearthstone that it's horizontally orientated. You can be using one hand to play. Marvel Snap clears that out, so I play it like once a week or something.
And
Very
I
nice.
want to ask, what kind of things do you play in Marvel Snap? What decks do you like to play? Any cards that you like?
Oh, that's hard question because I play Marvel Snap the same as I play Hearthstone and just create decks not by their powers or or some characteristics. I'm more of art person, so I create beautiful cards. Actually, take them and just play them because I love seeing them in games. Since I play like 2 hours a week, they are releasing new variants, so I just take new cards and look at them at the battlefield. How are they working? I'm more about
Yeah,
that.
you sound like me more than more than most people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and that's one of the great things about Marvel Snap is the gorgeous art and your ability to personalize them with how you invest your resources into the cards, and it's just a really fantastic part of the game. And that's what's really conducive to all the different artists that are, their names are growing thanks to Marvel Snap, and you guys are no exception. You have fantastic art in the game, so you
And
know.
I wanted to ask, so I understand that you guys are based in Ukraine. Has
Yes.
that like affected any of your studio work and how it goes?
Uh, that's um, that's a nice one because it affected, but not for long. So we were kind of being always. I don't want to say the word prepared because it's you can never be prepared. But anyway, we kept in mind that this kind of situation, the war can happen. So we've had Plan B, Plan C, Plan D, Plan E, and other plans to keep our workflow maintained. So we've taken a break, but not quite long, for 2 or 3 weeks around, so to keep everyone safe and get everyone together. Then we refigured out. The way we should deliver and keep our security in line, and then we continued the work. The hardest thing was actually last winter because we've had a lot of blackouts. So we
Oh.
we've had around like 12 hours without electricity in city and 12 hours
Mm.
with. So we needed to catch those hours, and it's different by like different cities and neighborhoods. It's it had its own schedule. So we understand that few artists work from 8 a.m. to, I guess, midday, and other ones work from evening to the night, and someone worked for at night because they didn't have lights at daytime. So it was quite challenging. But again, we're here now. Marvel Snap is released, art is there, so we've did our job.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I'm glad everything's going well. Hey, Scott, if you can go to the next slide, Squash, I think we can talk about your work in other studios
Sure.
and just what you've done. I know my biggest question, because man, these pieces of arts are amazing.
Incredible.
It is
Thank
that
you.
there are different art styles that you see, right? Especially compared to Marvel Snap. I felt like it was a lot like smoother in terms of like the textures
Hmm.
in the game. There was a background that always kind of matched the
Mm.
character, right? So I wanted to ask what kind of goes into differentiating your art between games.
Uh, so when it comes to Snap, it is created almost like not almost, but fully differently from the art you're talking about right now. The Here what you see is a scene. So you have something going on, and you as a viewer, as a player, you need to understand and kind of additionally imagine what's going on. The Marvel Snap is about the heroes, not about the scenes. So main thing there was is to dig into history of the character, understand what he does, how he is doing that, and to create his own new personal portrait. So it was very challenging for us because we have never done this precision of style what comes to characters like this.
Hmm.
Those scenes they're cool, but here is a bit simpler to create them, kind of simpler, because here you need to choose the poses, choose the backgrounds, and you just go ahead and paint and polish the work. With Marvel Snap, the thing there is you need to do as much dynamic in the card as you can create. So when you see, for example, some storm card, it's lightning's going on and she's in this dynamic pose. You, as a player and as a Marvel lore newer, you are kind of knowing what will she be doing inside the battlefield there. So it is very different approach, and different arts are really demanding different approaches like this. So, for example, artists for Marvel Snap, he's opening a comic book, he's reading that. Then he goes ahead and watches a movie. Then he goes ahead and digs for some black and white paintings of some drafts of some artists, different ones. Then he goes ahead and create this mood board with big ideas about how he wants to reimagine this. And then just the work goes on.
Wow. That's I was really about to ask about like because I did wonder like does the artist then read the comic book beforehand and look at
Yeah, sure.
poses that they tend to be in? Like
The
I
work
wanted to
here
ask. Go ahead.
is you need to collect as many references as you can. Some Marvel characters that are inside the snap, they never appeared almost anywhere beside the comic books. So it is hard to create, for example, pixel or realistic style for the character that was never be pixelized or being realistic. It was only in comic book. That was hardest challenge ever.
Sure. Is there a
That's
particular character that was most challenging that you would say? And I know we have some
I think
examples. So.
Swordmaster was a challenge. I remember him personally because the scene that holds him is very, very dynamic. Also, we have never faced Nova in movies or anything, so it was really hard to find. We found some cartoons, but he was very different from the ones Snap Team would like us to create. Um, and there was Iroh. Yeah, the Iroh was very hard to. I remember Iroh because we have done a lot of dynamic scenes for them, for they, for her, and we were working with Marvel Snap team for the best approach. That was a long one, so that was the longest character to create actually.
really. Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to ask about Nova because I remember having seen the cartoon. So you said that Marvel Snap kind of tells you that they don't want it to look like the cartoon. So
that's
what
the
do they tell
thing.
you when like do they tell you
Nothing,
what variant they want you to make or
nothing, just
Wow.
nothing?
nothing. So that was the fun part. We are getting only the name of character and maybe sometimes the style. So it should not be pixelized or something like that. That's it. Everything else is about the creation, about the. We are like proposing different scratches and um, different styles, and they are choosing some parts and some elements that we want to implement and create the one and only. And then we go ahead and do the one scratch, and then we just continue to color it and finalize.
Yeah, so how long does it usually take to make a variant piece? And do you guys animate it as well? Like, do you do the 3D effects and the frame break and the movement?
A piece a month or so, I think. Iroh was longer, and Nightcrawler was faster, I remember. Modoc was not pretty long one. It's fun character. I love it.
He's
It's
funny.
a very fun one. Yeah. So I think about a month as a Mediana. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty quick then. And do you guys then do everything in terms of the 3D break and the animations?
We've done animations for pixel cards. Almost all of them were animated by our animators. Parallax effects and everything was done there.
Do you have any favorite pixel variants then?
Oh my God, I've seen around 200 of them. It's hard. I remember one, I think that was Thanos or something, or maybe Spider-Man. Spider-Man was awesome. I love Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think our favorites are the what was it? I think it's Modoc is one of our favorites.
My
Yeah,
fa-
we really like the Modoc.
my
And
favorite
I think the
pixel is
Mojo.
White Tiger is my favorite pixel for sure.
White Tiger was done very hardly. I remember that one too.
Really, it's a great pixel variant, but
Yeah. What makes one more difficult to animate or 3D effect
Mm,
on?
because the card is flat. That's the first thing you come up with. You have no reference for this effect. You have nothing to be relied on. So when you go ahead, for example, and watch the Hearthstone, the diamond cards or legendaries, they're not animated at all, actually. Their background is kind of working, but that's it. The character do nothing, and they don't have this super, like parallax effect on it. So the hardest thing was actually to learn how to fit this effect perfectly.
mm,
The second thing is, as you may have noticed, those characters have layers. So for example, characters that have weapon, their weapon is higher, and the character is lower. So you need to understand how you work with height of the character, and you need to work on the horizontal dimension, but look at the card front viewing. So it is very iterative to do height like this, then try like this, and you're doing it all the time. It was hard thing to work with height on there.
Yeah, do you have like any examples of one that like was really easy just with how they did it as and one that was really difficult for whatever reason?
Mr. Negative was easy. I remember we've done it just from the first time. Because he doesn't have a weapon, he doesn't have anything that is super dynamic about him, so it's
Mhm.
easier. When we go ahead and try to create effect for Thanos, as I remember, why I remember him, because he have
Mhm.
the midden, and this hand should be the breaking one.
yeah,
So when you are not seeing the effect that he will in a second break the card and go ahead and do something, that doesn't work. So we need to work pixel by pixel to understand which pixel should be higher and which one should be lower.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. That's super interesting. What about Mr. Negative? Or not Mr. Negative, Mr. Sinister. I really enjoy that one, and
that's
I
a
love how
great.
he has like his little frills on the outside.
This one, actually, as you see, it depends from artist to artist. So some artists love more about, as I say, it often dynamic scenes, like Iroh or Swordmaster. But some of them like to show the greatness of the hero. This is about the Iroh, Mr. Sinister, for example. So when we work with this, his outfit and everything that lies behind, we just picked different styles, and we were having a conversation with Snap Team. By the way, their lead artists and their art direction is, I've never imagined that this level of kindness and openness of people are working there. That was really fun to work with them because we were brainstorming and working on some variants together. We were like, we want this code to be like this. Let's try this variant plus this thing from here, that thing from there, and we'll do the final variant that should work.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And I love how all these what I've noticed in Volmi cards is you kind of see how the light hits
Mm,
more I guess it's more noticeable than in other variants. You can see how the light kind of reflects off of certain surfaces. So, you can
That's
see it on the cape, Swordmaster.
Thank you for that. That's the thing that is coming from illustration that you showed before, because in those scenes, as you may have noticed too, we work with reflections and shading all the time because those are the key arts in the game. So when you look, for example, at the loading screen, when you wait, for example, to GTA 5 to load or something else, you are paying attention to details because you see that a lot of time and you need to be very precise with those things. So our artists have a big experience with key arts, and that's why they've brought it into Marvel cards.
okay.
I wanted to ask when you guys were given, the idea of creating art for Marvel Snap, did you have to kind of learn like okay, the power is here, the cost is here, you have to try and avoid that. Is that something that you guys kind of think about as well as like the frame break and where you want it to go outside of the frame?
It was something we started from beginning, because first thing, it's Marvel. It should be about the heroes, and that's it for now. The second thing is the team. As I said, people are awesome. Ben Brode is there, so it's very responsible to create those. The third thing, we love creating characters, but again, those ones have very long history, very deep one. It Some of them are century old, as we may think about the heroes as heroes. So we need to be creative, but not over creative. We need to be precise about the hero's outfit, but we should bring something new to it. We should bring dynamic scene there, but not overload the card with some details because it would be a mess. So all of those things combined made this experience very unique for us. So as I said, I didn't say it before actually. We didn't pass and hit the mark from the first time working with Marvel Snap team. So first time we were doing the cards, we didn't quite hit the quality benchmark, and we've took another round of trying, and then we've hit it. So it was not so easy to get in the train of cooperation with them. So we've took the best character 2D artists we've had. We've took the best experiences we've had. We've had internal brainstorm and internal cooperative drawing on one character that we've had as a test. We've had all our direction to be to be presented on it. So it was a very hard thing to learn how to hit the mark, but hope you love how we did.
Oh, I love Volmi variants. My favorites are the Swordmaster and the Storm. I wanted to ask, so I noticed that like the backgrounds tend to be a little more simpler in terms of colors, right? Is that something that you guys purposefully do and try to aim
Yes.
for with every variant?
Yes, because you need to concentrate on the hero. Your all art that Marvel Snap team did for the game is the heroes are the center point of it. So it wouldn't be Marvel Snap without Marvel heroes. So the thing is, you need to concentrate on this beautiful art of the hero and less on the background. That's why it shouldn't take too much attention of yours.
Hmm.
I
And,
think
and I wanted to ask real quick, how do you kind of weigh how loud an animation should be? So when I say how loud, I mean kind of like how much is going on, how distracting it can be. Like for the storm, you can see the lightning moving, and I absolutely love lightning effects in games. How do you kind of decide that, in Marvel and Hearthstone, they can have something moving around, and sometimes it's interesting, sometimes it can be kind of distracting, and it's my personal opinion that that's why they don't make diamonds so available. Only first off because of workload, but second off because it would be distracting to be looking down at your
Mm-hmm.
hand and see everything moving around. Is that something that you guys consider, and do you think it's different game by game?
First thing, since we didn't have too much experience with this kind of effect, we were having conversations with the Marvel Snap team, like what do they want from us actually. Second thing, what we've did some iterations. So we've done variants, we've done we just proposed what we want to achieve, and can we achieve that like this. So if we will want too much lighting going on, we just go ahead and ask, like, do you want all lightnings go on, or you just need to be centered something? How do you want it to be performed? And then we just gave the variants, and we're going through. Again, Marvel's Snap team is very responsive, so it was really cool to cooperate on these.
well, it shows in the finished results. I think especially what you as a studio has accomplished so masterfully is you have captured the essence of each of these characters and these variants, but also you've created a very distinct style. Like when I look at one of these variants, I instantly know it's a Volmi variant. Like you can just tell that there's like this realistic but just not quite, it's almost hard to put a finger on, and that's what makes the variant so unique and beautiful, I think. So it really is fantastic work that ended up coming through for in the game.
Thank you a lot. I enjoy you loving it.
Definitely, and we buy them. I have quite a few of your variants in the game.
Yeah,
In my
Squash,
decks.
what is your favorite Volmi?
I have such a soft spot for the bishop because I have this variant golden with the rainbow crackle, and it just looks incredible. So that's a big one for me. I also just really enjoy the card, so it just all comes together. I remember when I got the bundle that has this bishop and this Mr. Sinister together, and that was a great day. 'Cause it's two fantastic variants for cool cards.
Yeah, I did want to ask, do you guys consider, or like, do you guys play a part in what it means to golden a variant, to ink a variant?
No,
You know, what the frame will look like in different colors? Is that just
no.
Marvel Snap that does that?
They do it them personally. The
Mm,
namings, so as you see, the names, they are
yeah,
stylized, but we don't do them.
Okay.
yeah.
We didn't do the frames with power and everything, and everything else we did. Actually, I can ask you, what do you think about Volmi cards? Which is the favorite ones by the Snap team? Because I know the one that is favorite by Marvel Snap team.
Oh, we have to guess which one's Marvel Snap's
Yeah.
favorite?
Oh.
Oh man, I know my favorites are the Sword Master, and the Storm, for sure. But Marvel Snap's
You
favorite.
should think as a Marvel Snap team right now.
Yeah. Oh, this Kitty Pride is fantastic. That is a great question. I genuinely don't know what I would guess.
I think it's got to be something that communicates the character, right?
Or
And who they are.
maybe this Nightcrawler. They gave that one out for the
Yeah,
anniversary event, right? That was for the Twitch drops, I
Mhm.
think. This Nightcrawler.
yeah.
So
I lean towards the Nightcrawler, I think.
that could be it.
That is the Sword Master.
Is it? Okay.
Oh, dang, I said it.
They loved how the sword works with the frame break.
Mm,
This is the one they were always referring to as the the master's work. My
nice.
favorite is Iroh because it's very soft, gentle, and
Mm,
very very light one. And it
Uh,
was hard to perform this one, really.
and
sure.
I gotta ask you, what's I don't know if you can answer this. Is there a character that you want to draw a variant? Like if you wanted to draw it, all of a sudden you have a brainstorm. You're
Yes.
like, wow, I need to do a Hulk.
Actually, there is one. There is one my favorite Marvel hero that I personally love, and I always wanted to get one to draw. It's Daredevil. Yeah, Daredevil.
Oh
Oh.
man.
That one is my favorite. So I always wanted to get a task for Daredevil, but we didn't. But maybe someday.
Maybe they listen to this and they say, "Wow, we
Yeah.
need to make him a daredevil." Yeah. So what goes into it? So say you want to make a daredevil. What would you do if you were designing it then?
Ah. I'm not allowed to
Oh,
to
okay.
say anything to art.
Okay.
No, no, no.
Okay.
I'm not allowed. It's not the strict thing. So I'm more making fun here because I am production director. I'm not about the art. I can only suggest something, but never like direct. So we have very cool art directors that would do something very special about them. But for myself, I would be something about the noir variant with his blood spoils and he's fighting something because I love this hero because he has no powers, but he is super powerful in the universe for me. Personally, so I do some action scene when he is, like face punched and blood spoils are going somewhere, and there is noir card with little red dots going on and everything like this,
Wow.
and his glasses break, and his one of his weapons is broken and something like this because
Oh
he is
wow.
always harmed for me.
I want
You
that
know that?
now. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I really want that.
Oh yeah. That sounds great.
Do you look at variants from other artists in the game and like
Yes,
compare
sure.
them?
Yes.
Is there like something that you've drawn inspiration? I don't know, like an artist that you tend to look at a lot more than others, that you enjoy their style, maybe a
Uh,
certain variant that you
I
really like in
wrote
the
this
game.
down for myself because it's a hard surname. There is a guy called Patrick Pizzalunga, like this. Um, yeah, Pizzalunga. Yes, his noir cards are my
Oh
favorites.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah. I
yeah.
know who you're talking about now.
I have a
Yeah,
bunch of
I
those.
love.
Those are
Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah.
my favorite is the Noir Doctor Octopus and the
It's
Punisher,
awesome.
Oh
the
Yes,
Noir
yeah.
the
Punisher.
Punisher is a special one. I love it because everything is colored, everything is like booming, blooming, and the noir cards and bring you back to earth.
Yep. That whole style is so cool to me. I am a big fan.
Myself too.
All right. Well, talk about where we can find your work. We have some links up on the screen here. Um,
Yes, you can go ahead to our station first of all. You can contact us or me or someone. We can provide you anything, even show you our studio if that is needed. We have big one here.
awesome.
And yeah, you can visit our website also. You can call us in Instagram too. We can go on and chat about something. So you can reach us any way you want.
Sure.
And if someone wanted to get like an art print, I know some artists sell that. If I wanted a storm print, for
I
example, in my
think that
room.
since the rights belong to Marvel Snap team, I think
Oh,
that's a
okay,
question for them.
I gotcha.
I think it's
That
not
sounds
long
good.
time till they will have their merch shop with all variants. Imagine this
Oh
t-shirt
man, that
shop.
would be
It would
great.
be
That
endless.
would be great. The Swordmaster T-shirt, the
I should buy
masterpiece.
Whoa.
one.
That sounds crazy, actually. My wallet is crying in pain. All the stuff that they could put up for sale. Wow. All
Yeah,
right.
I
Yeah,
had
go ahead.
one last question before you have to go,
Sure.
just because I forgot to ask it to you. What, like, I know there are different kinds of characters. Does it make it different for if it's, say, like an animal, like, maybe Stegron, for example,
Sure.
versus a more humanoid kind of character? Is there some kind of characters that you guys prefer to use or
Yes,
draw
yes.
more inspiration for?
There are character artists that are not drawing animals at all. They can draw something very anthropomorphic, but they cannot go to, for example, tiger or a wolf. So we knew if we'll get an animal as a card, we have another artist that works specially with animals.
Oh, really?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's super cool.
Same thing in, for example, 3D video game world. So
Yeah.
character artists do characters, but animals are not kind of characters, but not kind of environment. So there are special people who know character and so I'll explain it like this. Sorry to be wide on this question, but it would be maybe interesting for you for your viewers.
Oh, yeah.
So animals have their pattern to behave and move, and it is very different from humans. So when you are drawing a cat, you should be understanding how cat behaves, moves, tempers, and everything else. So if you are big fan of cats and you are artists and you understand how cats are working actually, you would be creating best illustration for the cats. But if you are just character artists that know how cat looks, you would never create something for Marvel Snap. You can draw a cat, but you can never draw the best cat ever created.
Yeah, that's a great answer, and it's good to know. It's always something that I wondered. I just want to say thank you so much for your time. We really enjoyed having you here. There's
Oh,
Squash's cat.
What a coincidence. She knew we were talking about cats. She came up. That's so funny. Oh,
very
man.
fluffy. Thank you so
All
much,
right.
friends, for inviting. It was fun.
No, thank
Yeah, no.
you. This was genuinely incredible. I learned quite a bit, and it was extremely interesting to hear about your studio and what you guys do. And again, we love your work, and thank you for giving such great art to Marvel Snap. Like we really love it. So
Thank you.
Yeah,
I hope we'll do a lot more in future.
we do too.
yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
hope I hope we see some more. The Daredevil. I really hope we get that now.
for sure. All right. Well, thanks again, and that's gonna wrap up this interview with Nazar from Volmi. And this has been To Infinite and Beyond. We'll see you guys next time.